Let's talk now to Roxanne Hoge, who's the chair of the Republican Party in Los Angeles, California, because there's some American stuff we need to discuss. Roxanne, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, good evening.
And good evening to you, I should say. Sorry, my apologies. Good to talk to you. How are things out there at the moment? How are the riots going? Because the last time I spoke to one of our colleagues in LA, it was all still going off. Is it calmed down a bit?
Well, after midnight or when it gets really late, people go back. They only pay them for their shifts about 8 hours. So I think they'll be taking a rest before they get back on the clock.
Oh, yeah. What you mean? You're talking about the sort of the rebel rousers, the people who are, sort of paid for, exacerbators of the situation.
Yes, definitely. The Dramocrats, as we like to call them, have an entire wing that's dedicated to what they call direct action, and that involves making life miserable for anybody who has to traverse city streets.
Yeah, no, naturally, of course. Let's talk about Donald Trump, because there was a big military parade for his birthday at the weekend. Quite a few demonstrations from, as you say, the Dramocrats talking about how they don't want a king in the White House. What did you make of the whole military thing?
Well, here's an interesting fun fact. It was actually the birthday of the United States Army.
Yeah.
So it, as someone said, what Donald Trump can do, going back in time to make sure that he was born on the same day as the U.S. Army, is really dastardly. Just goes to show what a horrible tyrant he really is. So it was a coincidence that it was his birthday as well. I know my mom was completely just overcome by what, it swells their patriotic pride to see the people who sacrifice. And in this country, it's a very small percentage of families that do serve in the military. It's an all volunteer military. And to know what American soldiers have done throughout history and what they continue to do is really something.
Absolutely. Let's have a little look at what Trump had to say, because I think this is him speaking at that military parade.
Time and again, America's enemies have learned that if you threaten the American people, our soldiers are coming for you. Your defeat will be certain, your demise will be final, and your downfall will be total and complete. Because our soldiers never give up, never surrender, and never, ever quit. They fight, 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 and they win, win, win.
I mean, it was funny, The Independent here, which is probably considered to be one of the more lefty newspapers here, sort of was trying to be, as usual, trying to be sort of a bit mealy-mouthed and critical in a rather snide way. They said it wasn't so much, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, it was more, July the 4th in your small-town America. But actually, people in America rather like July 4th in small-town America, don't they?
Yes, it is a wonderful holiday if you like America, but unfortunately some of our friends on the left don't actually like America.
No.
And that's the crux of the problem.
Yes. And I mean, one of the strangest stories I guess we've seen, and a tragic story over the weekend, was the case of Vance Bolter, this guy who's now still on the run, a gunman who gunned down Melissa Hortman, a Democratic State a Democratic State representative of Minnesota, and her husband Mark at 3 a.m. on Saturday. Also attacked some other people as well. Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, they survived. Nobody's quite sure what his motivation is, but it's emerged that basically he was given a job by Kamala Harris's running mate, who is, of course, was the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz.
I think I have a 24-hour rule on these things because everything is so fast moving. In fact, I think he may actually now be in custody.
Oh, okay.
But the truth is that no one knows for now, and with the speed at which social media jumps to sort of erase the profiles of anyone suspected of any sort of activity like this, really leaves the rest of the world going, wait, what? Why can't we see who this person was and what they were saying beforehand. Yes, he may have had a commissioned position, but that may not have been a big deal. I think it's one of those things that'll take a minute to sort out. My other rule that works is if you don't hear too much about it, you realize that the left couldn't make hay with it.
Yeah.
So we'll see in the next day or two if we continue to hear about it.
Yeah, indeed. And what's the view there and the mood at the moment about what's going on with Iran? I mean, there's a story here in the papers this morning saying that Donald Trump vetoed the Israeli wish to do away with the Iranian supreme deity, you know, the guy that runs the country, the supreme commander. And Donald Trump has warned Iran that America will get involved if they have to.
My friends who are escapees from Persia, and we have a lot of them here in Los Angeles. Several of us banded together in the COVID battles. It was Persian parents really who were at the forefront of saying, "Excuse me, why are you closing schools, public schools in Los Angeles?" And so they and their parents and their families fled a once vibrant country. And while it's horrible always to see any devastation, there's nothing more devastating, as my friend Hamadi says, than to have Revolutionary Guard beat women, flog them, pursue them for the crime of showing their hair or of singing a song. And so the mullahs deserve their comeuppance whenever and however it happens.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree with you on that one. Roxanne, thanks for talking to us. Thank you very much indeed. Roxanne Hoge there, reporting in to us from Los Angeles, where the riots seem to have died down a little bit, funnily enough. And as she said, the Dramocrats, as they're known, seem to be wanting trouble wherever they go.